Recorded live from Portland, Oregon, it's the Transamorous Network podcast. Let's get it on.
Welcome to the Transamorous Network. I'm Perry.
I'm Remy.
And welcome to the show. And today we have, the camera's like, I'm way off on the edge. There we go. That's better. Today we have and the camera's just shaking like a mug. Let's keep our hands up.
Stop kicking up table.
Today we have a great couple out of Dallas, Texas.
Woo, Texas.
Jimmy Tiller, who was, we had scheduled him to be on the show before, but he didn't quite make it. And his new partner, V, a trans woman he met 6 months ago. They're in a great relationship, and we're going to explore their relationship and their issues
and how they got
there and their perspectives on being trans and trans attracted. So welcome to the show, Jimmy and V.
Hi.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Really nice to see you guys today.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So just to clarify for the audience, Jimmy's a little hard of hearing, so if there's a little bit of difficulty or awkwardness seeming in the show today, it's because of that. We're just dealing with the hearing situation, so no problem there. So Jimmy, tell us how you guys met.
Well, we have a story.
We have two versions. Which one do you want to know?
The one that you want to tell us.
Yeah.
The one that you want to tell the world.
Basically, I happened to be in the trash, in the dumpster, and then he was dumpster diving, basically. We were telling everybody that. And it gets funny, but, this morning I was just tired, so.
Yeah, that actually was, we were both looking for long-term relationship online and did find each other on Craigslist.
Craigslist, all places.
It's possible. It's
definitely
possible.
is possible. And
Absolutely possible.
It's been possible for me for 10 years, but, it's just a matter of luck. And I don't know what to say, but,
It's about the right person coming at the right time.
Yes, at the right time. Because, it's just another day that I was posting ads, and I was looking for some random stuff, mostly. Just conversation. Sometimes it's, just some random, sometimes it's a conversation, sometimes it's actually. And then that day I just feel like I want a relationship, so I just posted that.
Nice.
So what were you doing before you met Jimmy?
As my job?
Yeah, as your job and your lifestyle and things like that.
I'm actually a nurse. I work night shift, and so I just I call myself a vampire because I always sleep during the day and wake up at night. So no social life whatsoever. I have maybe 5 friends.
That's all you need. That's all you need. My dad always told me you can count your true friends on one hand.
And they are, and I have lots of coworkers, and they're wonderful. But I haven't actually gotten close to them until I started coming out. And then there's some people approach me, and or partially, also because I've been correcting them about the pronoun stuff. But that's beside the point. They have been contacting me and said that, hey, I see changes, something's happening, that kind of stuff.
And how about your dating situation? What were you doing with regards to finding men, or were you not interested at that time?
Oh, I was very interested.
Now, what about you, Jimmy? What were you doing up until before you guys met?
Okay. I had been in a long-term relationship, and when it ended, after some time, I decided that I would open up my dating pool to not just cisgender women but trans women. And I really didn't think much about it because on some of the dating sites or apps, it didn't really offer that for an option.
Yeah.
But me and my friends at work were talking about it, the guys that I worked with, and it just came up, and I was like, I said I'd give it a try, and see, and it was interesting because they were all very supportive of it. When I actually did, trans woman and started dating her, it was really cool. but it just came up conversation, like, what do you think about, trans women?
What kind of work were you doing at the time?
At the time, I was working for another company doing organic landscaping and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But since then, I work for a company as a tower climber.
Okay.
So ever since she's known me, I've been working as a tower climber.
All right.
So Jimmy, tell us about how you discovered being trans attracted. It sounds like you were in a long-term relationship with a cis woman. When did you discover your trans attraction, and how did you negotiate coming out around that?
I can't say that there's ever really a aha moment that I knew that I was attracted to trans women. I just always viewed them as any other women.
That's the key.
And honestly, a lot of times I probably wouldn't have even known if I had met one. So after having the conversation with friends and then looking at the dating apps or whatever I was using where it wasn't an option, Craigslist was like the only thing that I knew at the time. I didn't know about the Plenty of Fish, not Fish, but OkCupid had that option.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked on there as well, and met my first trans woman that I dated for a few months, and I learned a lot, had a great time. It was very eye opening, and really learning a lot. Hearing the stories and the positive things and the negative things. So, and that's why I continued to, after we had went our separate ways, to continue to include trans women in my dating pool. And then I met V, and she's a lot of fun. She's funny. She's a jokester.
Not right now. I'm feeling nervous, but it's okay. Beside the point.
She doesn't have the upper hand now, so.
So how long were you in that long-term relationship?
I was actually 5 years, and we had a son together.
Oh, okay. And you were aware of trans women then?
Oh yeah, I was. I mean, I would watch documentaries or shows and stuff here and there that whenever they came up on Netflix or whatever. And up until that time, I wasn't aware. My only experience with a trans person really had been a trans man that I worked with at one of the when I was working in animal control, and it was really cool. He was part of the team. We had a good time, and actually, but my first experience with a trans person. Eventually, he stole my credit card. Then he got fired. But
right. Mm-hmm.
But it was but yeah, it's all in the past or whatever. I wasn't mad or anything. It just something that happened, and my employers at the time went on a witch hunt for him. And I was just like, oh, I was like, it's not that big a deal.
I mean, you know what I think right now? Because at that point, trans woman, it happens to be a guy. It's the same situation. There's no difference between trans women, trans man. Basically, it depends on the person.
Right, it depends on the person, cis, trans, or other.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people are just fucked up and need a little help.
It never, even though that was my first known,
right.
The trans part, it didn't affect how I.
Well, that's good. It didn't insult you.
But
now, how long have you two been together?
6 months.
All right. Congratulations. Congratulations. Good luck on another 6 months.
We're past that honeymoon period.
Yeah.
So what? I still love this guy so much.
Nice.
We still tolerate each other very well.
Tolerate. That's the right word.
Yeah.
That's the key.
So I wanna keep asking Jimmy some questions because of the guys who participate in watching our shows, and how important it could be for the guys to see someone like you, Jimmy, who is so comfortable with who he is. So when did your long-term partner know that you were interested in trans women?
I can imagine that she probably had an idea that I was open to to it. I mean, I never really was like, oh, I'm interested in this or that. But I think she knows the kind of person that I am. I grew up in a very diverse family as well, and so I guess if you know me for that long, you know that I'm just the kind of person that I'm not. I'm just very open, and I guess that's all I have to say about it.
Yeah. So you didn't have any. There wasn't a period like we hear with some men where you were nervous or shy or embarrassed or shame feeling about your attraction to trans women.
No, and when I first started dating my first trans girlfriend, I was immediately, told my friends, told my family, I wasn't afraid to, I even hashtag Transamorous on my Facebook for a while, while I was in a,
Nice.
and, I owned it
Something
immediately.
about him reminds me of Troy that you ain't gonna step up to me. If you have a problem, you ain't gonna step up to me. Well, so what's the problem?
He looks like someone who can handle himself.
Right.
So yeah.
One question though, did you notice any decrease in your friends' number?
Oh, good question. Did you lose friends?
Well, as far as losing friends, the only time that happened is when I split up with my ex. But and that was before me dating that. Actually, I was very surprised at how supportive were some of my friends, because I have friends on that are very right wing, and I was in the military for 8 years, so I got some very gung ho type hardcore right wing, and I was actually surprised at how supportive a lot of them were, when they seen it. They'd actually come on and make comments like, "Hey, proud, happy for you." So actually I was surprised I didn't really lose, not that I noticed, I didn't lose any friends.
Honestly, Jimmy, I'm surprised at that too.
I see people who are always posting like right-wing stuff on their Facebook all the time, everything else. And then, I'll see that they're liking our pictures and, our statuses and, comments, stuff like that, Wow. And as with my, the first trans woman I dated, they, when she had posted a thing about how, we were dating and that, I'm unapologetically, transamorous and this and that, and they would like it and, make nice comments. And so, I think that, I think it's probably something that I feel like it's something you shouldn't fear, losing friends, because I didn't,
Yeah.
And, especially, even if you got a lot of military brothers, I think that you're going to find that they're more supportive than anything.
I've heard some really interesting stories like that. I know a trans woman who was ex-military, and she was from part of the bomb squad, and all of her unit, or whatever you guys call them, they're all like, that's their sister now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting because that's the same experience I've had with my friends from the Marines. As I've been more vocal with who I am on the internet, they've been okay with it. As far as I can tell, no one's really said anything negative about it. But it surprises me because Jimmy, you live in we're reaching you in Texas, right?
Dallas, Texas.
Okay, so in Texas, in my mind, has a certain image, and when he mentions conservative people, I mean, I've got conservative friends from the military who are still open-minded about me, but we have these stories about conservative people, and then when you add to that conservative military people, and then when you add to that conservative military people who might live in Texas, and you got a certain kind of person in your mind, someone who's not necessarily going to be very tolerant. That's my story anyway. And so that's
similar story to mine.
Okay. And so that's why I express surprise, because it just seems like in Texas there would be less acceptance of someone like Jimmy. But then again, Nikki
I was going to say, Nikki and William live in Texas, too.
Yeah. And Mari...
We'll meet them someday.
Oh, you haven't met them?
No, we plan to check out their...
go to their coffee shop.
Hey, as soon as we can get to Houston.
Yeah. How far is Houston from Dallas?
Don't look at me. I don't know.
4 hours.
4 hours.
Oh, okay. Because it would seem like, wow, you're in the same state. Go over and make friends.
It's a big ass state.
But it's a big state.
It's a big ass state.
We messages on Facebook and stuff, and
Okay.
They're pretty awesome.
Yeah, they're really
and as far as friends, like I have friends that I do know that they feel differently about it than we do, but they're still very respectful and very accepting of it as well. It's
That's what matters.
Yeah.
It's, like I said, it's you can't force everybody to feel the way you feel. You got to respect each other's opinions, but like I said, the fact that they still respectful, still my friends, one of my best friends even, and it's great. It's a great experience.
So when we talk in our content on the show and on our Facebook program, we talk about how when two people in this context, like a cis trans relationship, when they both are accepting of who they are, not only do their friends tend to accept them more, but their relationship seems to go better, and there's less drama because you're both on the same page around accepting who you are. And
not giving a damn what other people think.
And not caring what other people think, yeah. And so, V, I want to ask you, when you first so is your story typical of, maybe this isn't typical, but I'm going to say typical of the trans experience where you knew you were trans at an early age?
Well, depends on how you knew. I mean, I know I like to dress up. I know I like to do a lot of things girly. But I was just thinking, hey, maybe I'm just a gay boy, And then I lived my life as a gay boy, and it's like, I'm not happy. I am not happy. And nobody, even in my friend circle, in my inner friend circle knows that I keep it very well to myself. For the first 30 years of my life, literally, I live for my mom, for my family, for my friends. And it's an Asian culture thing. And I feel like, I'm turning 30. I'm doing something finally for myself. And this is the thing that feels most liberating to me. And I'm just going based upon feeling. Really, who knows? When I was in my 20s, I don't know stuff. I promise you that. When you're in your 20s, I'm sure you don't know stuff. There's a lot of things you don't know. You're exploring your feelings. And it's all about feelings. Think of all the moments.
Yeah. So
these are so cute.
They are so cute. So in your early years, you were living to kind of fit in with the Asian culture, and then
and to appease friends and family.
And so when did you? And you said at 30 you decided you weren't going to do that anymore, and this is most comfortable for you. Did you notice a change in the people around you? Like, did they immediately accept you, or okay? So what happened? Yeah.
I have been effeminated. My English. I have been an effeminated person, a feminine person, since I was young. I mean, when the fact that it came out the way it is, it's not a surprise to a lot of people. It's a shock for my inner friend circle, probably because they don't know, and I didn't tell them. I kept it to myself, and it's in a way, when you're so close with somebody and they didn't tell you exactly what's going on with the daily life, just because deep down inside me, I'm trying to dismiss everything. Hey, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. I'll leave. Everybody live all the time. There's a feminine boy. I just don't feel the same way anymore when I'm turning 30. I guess like the older you get, the less tolerance you get.
Sounds like a similar situation.
Yeah, very similar.
I can relate.
You want to tell a little bit about your story?
Well, it sounds like a kind of similar story to myself. I didn't live for family or anything like that. I mean, I came out as gay at 13 and lived as a gay boy for 20 years, until I was 33, until I got to a point where I was like, I don't feel like a gay man anymore. Transgender feels like it fits with me. And I started to really begin the transition. And, so it's kind of that similar story of living to a point and then you're like, that doesn't feel right anymore.
Yeah.
It was okay for what it was at the time, But now I'm different. I'm not 25, living a 25-year-old life. I've learned, I've gained, I've grown, right? And now I'm in my 30s. I was 33, and it was time to really figure out exactly who I was and how I was going to spend the rest of my life, and a gay man wasn't part of that anymore.
And the funny thing is, that idea never really comes true until you see more exposure on the media, like Caitlyn Jenner or, that kind of stuff. The exposure really helps me cross over that boundary because I feel like it's something that can come true to me. Before, when I was a teenager, I've seen trans women in my country, and I was like, wow, they're nice. So how did they do that? That's awesome. I could never do that. I could never live that life like that because so many people that will be like, oh my god, shock if I do that kind of stuff. But now I just like, I'm 30, I don't give a shit.
So let's
don't be cussing and shit up in here. None of that bullshit.
So some people would say that what you two just expressed, V and Remy, sounds like you guys were making a choice. So how would you respond to that kind of a statement?
Well, for me personally, it wasn't a choice. It's again, like she said, it's a feeling. Mm-hmm. It was a feeling. And, I was sitting on the bus one day and I was all dressed up and all, feeling cute and feeling pretty. And I don't remember how the thought, maybe I saw some gay boys on the bus or something like that. And I was like, I can't relate anymore. I can't relate. And if I go to I went to a party with a girlfriend of mine for her gay brother, and he had all his gay friends there, and I felt out of place. Like I didn't feel like I could relate to them anymore the way I would have a year before that. Mm-hmm. It was different. My feelings, who I am has changed. It's not a choice. I mean, the choice is to act upon and make the transition. Yeah. That was my choice, to actually follow through with it and live the life I want to live. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it was a feeling within myself. I could not identify as a man anymore.
Even a gay man.
Right. Even a pretty boy, effeminate gay man. I couldn't fit anymore.
And V, what about you?
It's the journey of self-discovery, because when you, like I said, when you're in your 20s, you don't know a lot because you haven't experienced a lot in life. You haven't seen a lot. And once you experience a lot, you just know your inner self more than everybody else. And you're the only one that can make the decision, not anybody else, not my family, not my friends.
Yeah. So okay, so it's going on 26 minutes. We're gonna turn this into two different shows. And when we come, so we're going to take a break. And when we come back, I want to ask questions of both you, V, and you, Remy, about the experience you just talked about in your own self and how you feel if you can appreciate that kind of a process happening in a man like Jimmy, or a man like me. So we'll be right back.